Welcome to Forest Focus Live. Thank you for coming. It's wonderful to see you here tonight. I appreciate it so much. It's been quite a week getting ready for this show, so it's so good of you all to be here. Let me introduce the panel. Pete Blackburn. Mikey Clarke. Greg Mitchell. And please give another very warm welcome to a man who stepped in to help us out, which I really appreciate, former Red striker Nigel Jemson. What we're going to do, we'll throw some questions Gemmo's way. We'll have a bit of a quiz, which Pete's put together. We'll sell some raffle tickets for... I've moved them. There's a signed Callum Hudson-Odoi shirt. There's a signed Murillo shirt. I mean, you know what you're getting when you come here, don't you? So don't worry. So we'll sell raffle tickets at the interval. We'll do a raffle and an auction at the end and raise some good money for charity. So let's get into it. We'll throw some questions Gemmo's way. How are you feeling, Gemmo, heading into next season? We've got European football. We're coming off the back of a great season. We'll probably talk transfers, but how much are you looking forward to next season?
I think you always look forward to every new season, especially before the season when you're looking at what new signings may come into the football club. Obviously, at the moment, I think we're short of a few. But I think, obviously, with European football, for so long, it's going to be exciting. Whether it's going to take its toll a little bit with all the travelling and the extra games, that remains to be seen. But I can't see why we can't have a good European campaign and be steady in the top half of the Premiership.
How do you feel about hearing that, Mikey? You have been pretty contrary. Are you boosted by that?
Yeah, I'm not going to sing Morrissey songs at you and just depress you or anything like that. Don't worry, I'm going to come on a level. Gemmo, you're right. It's a season to look forward to. I remember a few years ago when we were languishing in the Championship, and if somebody would have said to me we're going to be in Europe, I would have thought they bought the Intertoto Cup back, if people remember that. But we've come a hell of a long way, and I think there's a hell of a lot to be positive about. My nervousness, as you guys might know, is based on where we are right now. But I think if you take a longer view at it, there's still a few weeks left. Knowing Forest, we might go a little bit mad.
Why are you nervous? What are you nervous about?
Because I look at the team now and I look at the squad and it looks really weak.
So, are you saying we could struggle next year?
Yeah. If I'm being honest, and I know the season doesn't start tomorrow and we've got time, but I'm not sure if you ask the people at Forest, is this where you think we were going to be right now? They'd all say, yeah, we would have lost Elanga, Gibbs-White might go. We bought a couple of Brazilians in, but essentially it's the same team that tailed off at the back end of last season.
Do you not think that was a good deal, Elanga?
No.
The 55 million, I'd have driven there myself.
Would you have sold Elanga knowing what we know about Gibbs-White?
Well, that's up in the air still, isn't it, the Gibbs-White? But listen, Nottingham Forest knew when they put that clause in his contract. So, whether it's right or wrong, they put it in. Now, how it's got out or whatever, obviously I don't know. But if there's a clause in the contract, Morgan Gibbs-White is a fantastic footballer. And without being too disrespectful, I think he'll even be better in a top team because he's got that much to show. But also, you've got to look at the financial side of it as well, because that's what it's about nowadays with the footballers. And I know what sort of money he's earning and what sort of money other people are earning. So if we want to call him our main man or top dog, then you've got to pay him what he deserves. So I hope he stays. Of course we do. But I'm also preparing myself, if he does go, then we've got to get on with it and spend money wisely on someone that can replace him.
Yeah, I agree. Just the last thing I'll say is we have got to get on with it. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we're in a situation now where 20 days, 21 days till that opening game. Clock's ticking for me. Doesn't mean we need to be reckless. It just means that if Morgan does go, we've got a lot of money to spend, got a bit of headroom with PSR, which our thought process is we've got a bit to spend and we need to spend it.
You've got to have faith in the football club.
I do.
One thing I want to ask you, Gemma, about the Morgan situation is you'll have been in dressing rooms when a player maybe wants to go or maybe there's a move coming up. Is it a difficult spot for Morgan with his teammates? Will he feel a bit distant from them or not?
Obviously, again, football's changed a lot since I was playing. I think, if I went to Brian Clough and said I want to leave, he'd tell me to piss off, and he'd tell me when I was going to go. But with Morgan, I think he's a good professional. No one can doubt his commitment to the football club, and he does things on and off the pitch that sometimes people don't see. But like I said, it's a short career, and you've got to take whatever comes along. And if he thinks him and his wife or his girlfriend will be better off down in London, that's his decision. But I think Tottenham, if I'm being perfectly honest, is a sideways step rather than a forward step. So is it the glamour of living in London? I don't know. But like I said, if he's getting the same money as he probably would do at Tottenham, then why should he leave this football club?
Is that the way people in the audience feel? I heard a lot of yeses there that Spurs aren't a big enough elevation for you then. Spurs are what? Wannabes. Yeah, I suppose they are, yeah. Yeah, show of hands then. What's the question, Pete? Pete said show of hands, but I don't know what the question is.
Is Spurs a sideways move?
Is Spurs a sideways move? Well, that's everyone. Downwards. I mean, they are in the Champions League, but yeah. I wanted to... Well, there's probably going to be more questions on Morgan. Do fill in the notepads that are going round, and we'll ask your questions more. Emma's got one there. I can see she's holding it up. I wanted to ask you about Chris Wood as well, Gemmo, from an experienced striker's point of view. Magnificent season last season. He's going to be 34 next season. Do you think, not that necessarily that he'll regress, but will he adapt his game? Will he learn more as he goes along? How does your game evolve as you get into the latter years of your career?
Adapting his age, or are you talking about adapting tactics, or?
I guess he's not been the quickest, has he ever? So I don't know if he need to change much.
He wasn't landing quick. Yes, last season, but he still banged in the goals, isn't he? So I think that we'll probably more or less stay with the same formation. We may change it, I don't know, but. He's a goal scorer. Will he have the same season as he did last year? Maybe not. You don't know. But, he feeds on service. And if he can get the service to Chris Wood, he'll score goals. So it's not just about him as himself. He has to look after himself if he wants to play a lot of games next season, which we will do for in Europe, and we're successful. He'll be playing a lot of games. So as a football club, they've got to manage him. So I firmly believe that really we should probably go for another striker as well, because obviously we've got the new lad and we've got Taiwo, but you never know with Taiwo with all his injuries he's had. I believe he's come back in great shape and he's doing well in pre-season, which is great. But we can't play Chris Wood at 34 years of age week in, week out next year, because it'll take its toll on him.
Let's do another quick poll, because this is another topic that comes up. Is Taiwo finished? Can you see a way back for him? Yes, if you could. Put your hand up if you think Taiwo can make it at Forest still.
Well, that's convincing.
I like that. Greg's got his hand up. Let me ask Greg, if Igor Jesus or Taiwo, especially Igor Jesus, score a couple of goals in pre-season, would you start them ahead of Chris Wood, or is Chris Wood totally nailed for the first game?
Yeah, Chris Wood's totally nailed for the first game. That's why he's been here and done so well. Can I just start? It's annoying me that yet again we've got some amazing prizes for the raffle, and the mugs look really good, and not one of them is one of your elusive Forest Focus mugs.
I thought the mugs were on the front seat here.
True to shambolic form,
It's
Matt failed to
unbelievable.
deliver them on time.
I have clocked it, but anyway,
No.
the other prizes are great. Chris Wood he's just managed to prove everyone wrong. He's proved the Newcastle fans wrong, like he always does, and he deserves that starting place. If after 2 or 3 games, Jesus or Taiwo is starting ahead of him, then we're doing something right. And I think it's so good to have competition, because there were so many times last season where he literally was the only striker, and we had to, if he wasn't going to be fit, there was going to be a real big problem. So fantastic news that we've got options now, and we're talking about having a weaker squad, and you want to start singing Radiohead songs and all stuff like that. We haven't got a weaker squad. We've still got the best defence in the Premier League. We've lost Elanga, who's gone over to play with Isaac or whatever you call him, which that might not happen. And we're going to improve. We're going to get the signings. We've proved year after year under this ownership we get the signings. We've just got to give them time. And whilst we're a stronger Premier League squad, it becomes a lot harder to compete with the teams that don't want us to compete with them. And they make it harder. Look at Man United, the players they're signing, the money they're spending. A team that should have probably got relegated last season are able to sign players that we're not able to do. So just have a little faith, wait a little bit longer, and we'll get the players.
But also look on the positive. Nico Williams signed a new contract.
Yeah.
Alnarena signed a new contract.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't sign a new contract if they weren't being told the right things.
We've shored up that defence that got us to the point where we got last season. And yeah, we fell off towards the end of the season, but dragging ourselves over the line, just getting enough points, was because of that defence.
We didn't fall off at the end of last season. We just aren't a football club at this moment in time. We can be as consistent as what people want us to be.
The thing I kept hearing was we got found out. Like everything about how we set up, how we play, we got found out. So whether they're going to change that a little bit or whether they were just absolutely knackered.
Well, I mean, you look at teams, they're not going to come to the City ground and just go bang, bang, all out attack, because they know full well that we play on the counter-attack. So you look at Everton, everyone was moaning about we couldn't beat Everton. You know, they played it well. You know, they all had 4 at the back, you know, and they were a threat. We didn't deserve to win that game. But everyone was coming out of the ground as soon as they scored. We're rubbish, I'm not coming back next week and all this lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fickle supporters around. And I don't mean Nottingham Forest supporters. We have now Premiership supporters that just want to watch Premiership games. So that makes it even harder, because the atmosphere at the City ground sometimes then is a bit up and down.
Yeah, and it's, well, that is a contentious point, but yeah, it is. And I think that's the thing now, with like obviously the ticket price has gone up, everything, we're a proper Premier League club, but unless you keep being successful, that is going to drop off, and we've got to be so careful with that. But I truly believe we'll start this season stronger than we did last season, and we're playing a side that's been absolutely capitulated. It's hilarious what's happening to Brentford, the team that are ran so well, they do everything so right, you know, they sell the players at the perfect time. They're the ones being found out now, and I think they're gonna struggle. I think Leeds will finish above them, but we'll see.
Just on the mugs, on my mugs, Forest Focus mugs, are in a Latvian warehouse because I didn't order them in time. So I went to the club shop and got these. I'll ask Gemmo if he doesn't mind to sign them, and you can win them at the interval. But thanks to Greg for pointing out my own incompetence once again.
Sales pitch.
Let's talk a little bit about Elanga, Gemmo, and replacing him. Can you replace him like for like with pace, or is that pace not out there in the market and you have to sign a different kind of player?
Well, I'm sure there is pace outside of maybe Europe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scout that's been going to watch, you know, games out of this country. Elanga on his day, don't get me wrong, was electric and he was exciting and he was lethal. But Manchester United sold him for, what, 15 million? You know, we've sold him for 55 million. You know, so there's a good profit there. There's on his days, sometimes you didn't even know he was playing. So for 55 million, I think you need a bit more consistency about him, sort of thing. So, you know, will he go on to bigger and better things at Newcastle? Time will tell. But there'll be someone out there. Listen, the club's bigger than any player. And there'll be people out there that will come in or maybe even step up the mark and show that the manager they deserve a place. You never know, he might surprise us all by playing a different formation.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you that, Pete. I mean, you were gutted we lost Elanga. Do you want to see us play a different way? Evolve's not the right word. Do we go in a different direction this season or not?
I think you probably have to an extent, because it's yours. I think the truth is that Elanga is a pretty unique profile. Pretty unique, doesn't make any sense grammatically, but I think it is very, very hard to replace a footballer who can do what he did for us with the pace that he has. The truth is that he's pretty much the fastest player in the Premier League. He's probably pretty much the fastest player in Europe. Those players just don't exist at a level that can provide that pace, but also the quality that Elanga did. Elanga I'm a bit different to Gemma on this. I think Elanga was the brightest star for Forest in the second half of last season, personally. I thought he came on an awful lot. His set pieces were remarkable. I thought his end product developed hugely. His crossing was fantastic. And I don't think that you can just expect to replace that in an instant. But Forest are never going to be able to do that. And I think this goes back to the first question, which is that this is all... You're ready to come on a minute.
I'm chomping at the bit, but don't worry, I'll carry on.
I think that this is all about expectation, right? I think it's a profound misunderstanding of what the system is and what Forest can be if you think that we can just progress in a linear way and get better and better and better all the time without any hiccups. Everything is stacked against Nottingham Forest. It's just not that easy. The financial rules mean that we have to play in a way that is clever in order to be able to compete. We have to be cleverer than everybody else out there. Our recruitment has to be better. Our culture has to be better. Our environment has to be better. We have to do everything better than everyone else in order to compete. The money is just not there. We're not allowed to spend it even if the owner wanted to. So what it means is you sell a player like Elanga when he's at his peak and you try and find the next one and you develop them. And that's how it has to be. And ideally, you find a couple for the cost that we get for Elanga. And that's how it is. I think that's a good thing to be welcomed. Losing Elanga is us being victims of our own success. It's a good thing. It's to be welcomed. And look, on to the next one. I think Forest have proven that the recruitment is good and that we can go and do it again. I think the person they're looking for at the moment is Dan Ndoye, and I think he's a really good potential plug-in-and-play replacement for Anthony Elanga without the explosive pace, because that really just doesn't exist in many footballers. You know, you're looking at a step down or two in terms of that pure pace, but you can get other attributes in players. He's probably stronger than Elanga. I think he's more of a direct goal threat. And that's how I see it. I just think you have to give Forest time, because everything that we're competing against is bigger. It's all stacked against us. You've got to give some time and patience. It's hard when people come and take your football players, but that you have to trust in the model. And the model is that we go out there and we find someone else that we can bring into our environment. We can make them better, and they can be the next one. And if they go for 55 million, then great.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Elanga's not a good player, because he is. Oh, he obviously is. And on his day, he was unplayable. But if you look at Elanga, and we talk about Morgan Gibbs-White, everyone's got a price. And if he's unhappy and he gets a lot, his head turned by Newcastle coming in for him, is it not better to sell a player than keep someone that doesn't want to be here? And I'm not saying he doesn't want to be here, I'm just saying that his head was turned, and I bet you he couldn't wait to go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm arguing against
But
that
also, as well, you say that the last half of the season or something, he was this, and this. If I ask you now, who was our player of the season, I bet he wasn't in the top three.
He probably wasn't in my top three, no. But I didn't say player of the season. I said second half of the season. I thought he was our brightest spark.
A season's 38 games, isn't it?
Right. So half the season is 19.
Pardon?
Look, I think
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not being harsh. But, you look at the players that played out last season, you could pick 7 players who was player of the season last year.
Absolutely, and I think that's a massive strength for the football club, an indictment of the recruitment we've done.
I'm a firm believer that people are replaceable. And if we lose Morgan, which we don't want to lose, I've got faith in the football club that they'll find someone that can replace him.
Absolutely, same. That's totally my argument. I just don't think the raw pace is likely to happen. He's so fast, it's unreal.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a racetrack around the corner. Go and get somebody who sprints 100 metres in flipping 10 seconds and put a number 11 shirt on him.
Yeah, but I'd like them to be better at football than that person, ideally.
Let's go back to Gibbs-White. Change the subject.
Keep it going. I'm on Gemmo's side, by the way. Here.
Well done, Greg.
Yeah.
Don't 20 quid now.
No, I don't need it. Some of our best performances this season, as much as I loved Elanga, were without him starting. You're on about second half of the season. We were at our best in the first half of the season, which got us into Europe.
He was our only. I'll be Pete's advocate. By the end of the season, he was.
I think the microphone is broken. I think is it not working? You're not going to say anything.
He was the focal point of our attack at the end of the season, I would certainly say. I want to do a bit of a poll on Gibbs-White just quickly. How many of you think there's a way back for Gibbs-White, and you want him to play for Forest again, and you think he will? How many of you think he will play Forest again? That's loads of you.
Emma?
Will? No. The question was how many. Thanks, Emma. What's the question? You were chatting. Well, you can't say what's the question if you were just chatting. How many of you think Morgan Gibbs-White will play for Nottingham Forest again?
I hope.
In a league game, not in a fucking friendly.
I hope.
Does no one think he'll play in a Premier League game?
Yeah, he's going to.
Not many. Why?
It'll start because the transfer window is a long window that's going to go past the first game of the season. There's only Spurs in for him, and I don't think his agent accounted for that. I genuinely don't. I think his agent thought this guy's going to have 5 or 6 teams after him, where there isn't, because he needs to be the man. And currently it's Spurs, and only Spurs in for him, with a derisory bid and potentially, definitely a legal bid. So...
Potentially, definitely.
This is being recorded, so that's alleged.
Edit that out.
With Newcastle, if they sell Isak and they've got all this money, and obviously people aren't wanting to go,
90 million, have him.
would Newcastle not think Gibbs-White?
Yeah, especially with the Elanga link-up. That's what we want, though, because Gibbs-White has clearly said, after we've tried for 12 months to make him sign a contract, that he wants to further his career elsewhere. I think that's pretty obvious. As much as we don't want to believe that, it looks like to me he's actively seeking a move away from the club.
Or maybe he's not happy with his pay structure.
Or that, but we've tried to get that sorted, haven't we, for 12 months. And if he's not signed it, we need a bidding more. And if it's only Spurs, 17th in the league, they'll be out the Champions League by October or whenever it is. That isn't going to be the team for him.
Well, it depends obviously what's motivating him. Is it a footballing move or is it a financial move?
Yeah, I get that.
You know,
but I think he's
I know what Tottenham's are spending and what their wages are. I know what Brennan and everything was getting, and they're going to be paying more than what Nottingham Forest will be paying. Yeah.
So if it is World Cup, Spurs isn't the team for him, because if they were that bad last year, now they've got a major tournament they're involved in as well. They're going to be horrendous.
Where are Spurs going to finish, Greg?
Below Forest. And you can clip that as well.
And where do you think Forest will finish?
Forest will be top half. Forest will still be top half. I don't know whether we'll reach the heights of Europe next season, but a lot of us didn't think we were going to do it this season. Whether we win a cup or something to get us in, we'll see. But we're going to keep pushing. Our owner wants us to keep pushing, and we'll keep doing it. It's harder this time because we're a team that nobody likes and nobody wants us to do well, and it's getting even harder for that.
Where will Forest finish, Mikey?
Forest will be honest. Greg just said to me, at this point in time, I think we'll struggle, but I think on reflection, we will probably finish around mid-table, give or take.
Top half or bottom?
Bottom half of the mid-table. Going back to Morgan Gibbs-White really quickly, who shouted it's a World Cup year? Somebody shouted it over there. You're absolutely right, mate. He needs to play from minute one, showcasing his talents, which is why I think he'll go, because I think they'll try and fix it, whatever direction they go in, before the start of the season. Yeah, Maddison must be shitting himself, because he ain't going to play, is he? And he's on a lot of money, so he must be looking, thinking, blimey, if Morgan's coming in, what do I do? So I guess it lends weight to the fact that the dominoes then happen. Does that force a move for him, and vice versa? So I'm trying to my logical brain is saying it will all sort out, I'm on Greg's side, things will fall into place. My emotional brain, and I'm an emotional person, is all of it, thanks for it, is a little bit worried. And I think Morgan will go, and I think we might have a couple of weeks where we're looking a bit thin. But hopefully they'll fix it. But where will Forest finish? 14th. Bottom half. Sorry.
Boo, Mikey. Jesus. I want the second half to be longer than the first. I want to have more of your questions than mine. So we'll take a break soon. We'll do Pete's quiz now, if that's all right, Pete.
Yeah.
And we'll give away some mugs. I'll ask Gemmo to kindly sign them, but get your thinking caps on, and I'll hand over to Pete.
So what we've got, do you want to introduce the prizes?
Oh, yes. We've got, one of these mugs is for, where's Jake? Who finished 19th in the world in FPL or something. There he is. Yeah, where did you finish, Jake? Shout out. 61 out of 11 million. And he gets a mug.
Doesn't feel like a mug really covers that, does it? Sorry, pal.
The other prizes, we do have some mugs. We've got a ball that I'll
a few mugs up on stage as well.
Exactly. And Pete is donating a shirt. What is the shirt, Pete?
Get it out. It's not been worn. Still got the tags on.
One size fit all.
Is that Team U?
Can you model it for us, Jimmy? Look at that, beautiful.
It is direct from China.
Shh, wash your mouth out. If it's direct from China, then the club store have got questions to be answered, okay? So yeah, we've got that. That's top
Why
prize.
don't the NAV serve Shipstons, by the way? I think it's like a staple of Nottingham. I think we should get a little campaign going with that.
Question for the back there. Can you respond? Or?
It's always good to ask critical questions of our hosts and main sponsors. Thanks, Greg.
So, we have got a number of quiz questions to end the half. The first three are going to be for three of the mugs that Matt has bought today in lieu of preparing for the podcast by ordering his own merchandise. So, I'm going to ask all of you guys a number of questions. We've got three questions. Each person is a player that somebody from the Forest Focus fraternity has nominated as their worst ever player or manager that they witnessed live. So I'm going to give you, it's called Who Am I? I'm going to give you a number of clues. The clues will get easier each time, and we're looking for people to shout out in the audience. So probably stick your hand up and shout out as loud as you can. I'm going to ask Matt and everyone else to watch and try and
I better not get a mention.
Preemptive shouts are not allowed. Right.
I'm walking off here.
Okay, so we've got three of these. The first one, clue number one. I was born on October the 16th, 1975, 2,450 miles away from Nottingham. Nose lenses. No. I made more than... Sorry, next one. Since 2022, I've been manager of Allgright IS in Sweden. Any hipster footballers in here? Football people? No, good. It's good effort. He has been in those roles. I made more than... What was that? I'm afraid not. I made more than 300 club appearances in the English Football League, but only 13 were for Forest. No. Don't think we've had it. Forest were my second of four clubs in England. This one's Matt Davies' choice, by the way. I was one of 6 players who signed for the club and left during the same season. Some were loaned, some were permanent. The others were Stephen McPhail, Michael Chopra, Davy Oyen, Marlon Harewood and Nick Barmby. Did they? Yeah, I think.
Someone said it then.
Yes.
Well done, Jake.
Come up and get your mug. Brynjar Gunnarsson. Who? Sort of the point, to be fair. The remaining clues were Paul Hart was the manager who signed me
Come
for
on the
Forest
stage, James.
on a free transfer from Stoke City, and I made more than 70 appearances for Iceland. Stop doing that. Playing central midfield. This is horrible. What have we got? Is that it? Congratulations, pal. That was beautiful. Well played. We're getting some advice on the horrendous mics. Matt's being silenced, so that's good. Second one, this is Greg's. I was born in Dublin, but brought up on a council estate in Watford. You're not allowed to guess. No.
I just want a caveat.
No, you can't. I swore more than 50 times in the first 5 minutes of a press conference with written journalists, just weeks into my spell managing a Premier League football club. Yes.
Can I just say he's not the worst manager? I just really liked his song. So.
Well, joking here. Another one for you. Well, I think there was two chaps, but I pointed vaguely in the direction, and one of the two has come up. Have we got a spare mug? I think we might. Have we got? How many mugs did you get? Yeah, we've got a spare. You can both have one. Oh, have you? Shh. Yeah. Oh, fuck it.
Joking here.
Have you got any Trent Nav merch?
Big Fat Joe.
Yeah, we'll have that. Thanks. One of you is getting some sort of Trent Nav-based T-shirt. Sorry about that. He's gone to get it. He's going to come back with a guitar, David Brent style. Oh yeah, that's good. See, this is good. This is probably better actually. Somebody else turn up.
I want that.
Oh, the chap's in there. This one's signed mug. Smooth as ever. Fight for it. No, it's been handled amicably. Well done, lads. Okay, last one of the Who Am I for the big shed. Look at that. It's a beauty. Lovely. Can you model it for me? Yeah? Okay, that's what we're talking. This is what you could be.
This is a deeply uncomfortable moment. So I've got a massive head.
Yeah, it's not
It doesn't fit at all.
It's not a nice fit, is it? Okay, the last one of the Who Am I's, and this is Mikey Clarke's, I believe. I was born in Sheffield in 1972 and made more than 500 league appearances in England. Good job, but no. These are all people who play for Forest. So, I'm currently senior professional development coach at Barnsley. Probably not in charge of throw-ins. No, not Steve Davis. There we go. We've had one at the front, Nicky Eden, on the second clue. Very impressive.
Is that?
Up you come on, don't be shy.
Is that part of the Mikey entourage that's just won the Mikey
suspicious.
question? Just calling it out.
Final clue was I struggled to keep the ball in play when I executed a throw-in.
Thank you for your patience. That was quite a long interval, but one of the reasons was because we have sold £660 worth of raffle tickets for charity. So thank you to Laura and Lindsay for selling the tickets. And we'll split anything we raise between Stand Against MND, which is a charity close to Greg's heart, and MacMillan Cancer Research, who Emily raised lots of money for at the weekend. And obviously we'll add to that with the auction for the Murillo shirt, Don't know where it is. Thank you to the front row. Right, let's get into some questions. We've had lots of good questions. Some are just directed at Jemo, some are more general, so I'll kind of switch between the two, but thank you very much for them. First question, with hindsight, how much do you think the owner and club regret not bringing a couple of fresh faces in January? Do you think they believe the team would fade from the Champions League race earlier than they did? Pete, do you want to kick us off?
I'm not sure if I can answer how much they regret it. Personally, I stand by the decision. I think the right thing to do for Forest always now is to only do business if we are confident that it adds value and it isn't going to hamper us in the future. They obviously tried, the football club tried to go and get Johan Wissa. I think that would have been a really good signing for the right money and clearly would have helped us with that end of season run in. But look, I think it's really difficult to add footballers to a squad who are trying to compete with Champions League level squads. And I don't think it's as simple as just saying they should have bought a striker. You know, it's really hard. The recruitment is hard. We're fighting against teams who are bigger than us, who've got bigger resources than us, and we're trying to sell them something. And I think we should only sign those players if we're confident they're the right thing. So look, personally, hindsight doesn't make a difference to me. My argument then was the same as it is now. I respect the club for trying to do the business, and they couldn't do the business for the right amount, and I don't think that changes whether it was a right decision or not, personally. Jemo, guys might have a different opinion.
Me, for one, I just think that you've got to walk before you run. I know players will be disappointed they don't get the Champions League, but sometimes you've got to be careful, because I think you can see that, like Newcastle for start, struggled like mad, you know, going from Champions League and stuff like that, and Villa's got a better squad in depth than what we have. I think that to get to Europe was an absolute bonus. You know, so we should be grateful, whatever it was. And I think if we're in the Europa Conference, I think we can go very far in it. I'd rather go far in a competition than get beat on a regular basis in the Champions League, because we're not ready for it yet. Financially, obviously, it's going to be very good for the football club and to attract big players. But if we attract the big players and pay the money in wages, and we don't qualify for Europe this year, what happens to those players? Do they turn around and spit the dummy out and say, I want to leave? So I'm more than happy where the club is and where we are this year in European football.
Okay, so guess what I'm going to say? I'm actually going to say hindsight is a you know, an amazing thing, isn't it? You look back and you think, well, if we would have bought a Wissa in, or if we would have bought another option to rest Chris Wood, or you know, if we would have bought another attacking player, could we have turned one of those draws into a win to get us over the line? It was such fine margins at the end of the season. That is a valid argument. However, I might surprise you, I kind of agree with Pete, which is weird, so bookmark this. I think maybe it was the right thing to do, because January is such a hard place to recruit. It's overinflated prices, and it's generally the players that other teams don't want, or you have to pay higher. So I think our failure, that's the wrong word, the reason we didn't qualify for the Champions League was because our last 4 home games, I think we got 1 point. That was it. You know, we lost to Everton, we lost to Brentford, we drew with Leicester, we lost to Chelsea. That squad was good enough to get more than 1 point. So, weirdly enough, I think it was probably the right decision.
So we needed that extra signing in January just to get us over the line then. It was literally 2 or 3 points away from doing it. And it's the only thing I regret from the whole thing. We needed that attacking option, which we couldn't get. And I know how hard that is, but it didn't happen and we paid for it at the end.
When did you recover from the season, Greg? You gave us 7 out of 10 for the season in mourning at one point. When did you feel better?
I'm there now. Now we've rightfully got our Europa League space. Like, I'm all right. Because I want the world to see Nottingham Forest. And that Conference League isn't going to do that. That's just going to be like, if you get to the final, people are going to watch it. I want to go to some of the biggest stadiums in Europe. I want to see my club on the world stage. And that's Thursday night, Europa League, where we deserve to be after the season we've had. So I'm all right now, as long as Palace, the little snitchers, don't get their way, which they shouldn't do, because it was clearly wrong what they did. So.
And also, your new influencer deals presumably are going to help you get to all those away trips. Do you want to talk us through any of those? Or what are you wearing today?
Greg Mitchell, sponsored by Art of Football.
Oh, this is a great top. Don't
It
it
is a
make you
great
feel
top.
happy?
It is a great top.
How much did you pay for it?
1990s, Steve Chettle, Colin Cooper. Like, it just reminds you of those things. It's a beautiful top. Medium as well. I've not been in a medium shirt for years.
Next question to Gemmo from Thomas G. Which player did you hate playing against most? Were you ever in Brian Clough's bad books?
Jesus, how long have we got? Toughest opponents, you usually get in pairings, really. You look at people like Bruce and Pallister, obviously very difficult. Man United then were a club that you dreaded to play against. Now everyone wants to play against them. You look at Tony Adams and Martin Keown or Steve Bold. I think they were the ones really that you always knew you were up for a really tough game, and it was always tough for those games. But the dirtiest player, I think it was Neil Ruddock. I've still got scars on my legs now from the day. But listen, as a defender, the game's changed as it now. In my days, you looked over your shoulder when the ball's coming up to you, thinking that you're going to get tackled waist high. Nowadays, as a striker, it must be fantastic because they don't touch you anymore now, do they, sort of thing. So the game's changed. I'd love to see a centre forward now that gets hold of the ball and lays it off, and we get midfielders running past us. Nowadays, we're looking for pace, looking over shoulders and stuff like that, which I'm not a massive fan of, if I'm being perfectly honest.
In the tunnel, did they ever have a word with you, any of these players, and tell you they were going to you put one on you in the first minute or not?
Say that again, sorry?
In the tunnel. Like
Stop mumbling.
When you're lining up, I think, channeling Brian Clough there. In the tunnel pre-match, did they ever have a word with you, Ruddock, Bruce, Bold, and tell you they were going to go through you in the first minute, or did you just know it was coming?
No, I think it's inevitable that when you played against top teams that they wanted to make the mark. So when you went out and that ball was there to be won, they were going to take the ball and you and get on with it. And the yellow cards were harder to get then than they are now. They give them away for anything now. But I think the game has changed that much that I'm not sure it's for the better. I'd like to see some of these players nowadays playing on the pitches that we played on. I think they'd have a bit of a shock, but like I said, it's impossible to decide what is better because there's that much change.
Next question is from Archie, age 9. Hello, Archie. There you go. Who is Forest's most important player now? Archie asks. Now we've lost Elanga and potentially Gibbs-White. Greg, who is Forest's most important player?
Milenkovic, start at the back, and that's why we were so successful. It isn't exciting, it isn't like what's going to get you on match of the day first game, but get those clean sheets, and he just seems like the captain that we need and require. He's just an unbelievable player, unbelievable signing, and he's where it begins for me.
Really? Well, no, he'll do his job to not concede, so we'll get a point. But strikers will score the goals to get 3 points.
Absolute striker's allegiance there, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
He's an important player, of course he is, but for me, and that's why they're the hardest position to find, the strikers. Everyone wants a good striker that's going to get them at least 20 goals in the Premier League. We can get defenders, of course we can.
Yeah. No, I get that. But Chris Wood obviously is there. Have we got a player who's probably the top 2-3 strikers in the league? No. Have we got one of the top 2-3 defenders in the league? Yes. And that's why he's so important to us. I feel like we we could replace a striker who gets injured, but what he's managing to do at the back, what he's managed to deliver to us, we've gone from relegation fodder because of like the amount of possession we get and the amount of pressure we get. Those defenders, they're busier than any other defensive setup in the league. Like, we've only got 30% possession, so they've got time after time, wave after wave of attack.
So you think that's all down to Milenkovic?
I think he's. If you're asking me who's
So you'll
the
be
most
disrespectful to all the Reina, Nico Williams and Murillo?
No.
And Matt Sells?
Who's the most important player, in my view, at the minute is Milenkovic. He's the one who's changed our season from
He's part
surviving.
of it. He's a big part of it.
Agreed. All right, one player then. I was asked about one player.
Can I make this even more contentious?
No.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. Elliot Anderson is the man who's the answer to that question as far as I'm concerned. You look at Elliot Anderson, he's a footballer who is going to explode this next season at Forest. He has got everything. Greg and I went to Crystal Palace away, right at the front, and you could see everything that he did was remarkable. The battle of the man is nuts. Not only does he have insane desire and all the physical attributes that you possibly could want in a central midfielder, I think he can do anything. We saw last year, I think it was December-ish last season, Morgan Gibbs-White was out for a couple of games. Elliot Anderson stepped up and played the 10, and my God, that boy can create as well. I honestly think Elliot Anderson can go on to do anything and is England's next central midfielder.
So we can sell Morgan Gibbs-White and not be worried. I agree, though. He is the step up. He is the step up for that. And one of the greatest signings we've had monetary terms, like for what he cost us to what he's delivering for us, absolutely agree. And that's why if Gibbs-White does go for the 80, 90 million we should get for him, Anderson steps up.
Well, going back to Mikey and Gemmo's disagreement about whether Elanga was a good deal or not to sell, it sort of doesn't matter because we signed Elliot Anderson for £15 million. That is unbelievable. It's daylight robbery. Forest on top.
Mikey, do you have any other different names before we go on?
Good question. I concur with the guys. I think for me, I'm going to go for Milenkovic because we had a massive problem the season before defending set pieces. We were crap, right? For want of a better phrase. He comes in, organises. I sit on almost the front row of the Brincliffe stand, and you can hear him gobbing off from there. Honestly, he's yeah, it's so posh. He really just sets the tone, and that's the key thing. Did we get him for £12 million, or have I just made that up? Was it 10? That is unreal. So whilst I concur with the fact that strikers win games and Elliot Anderson is an absolute steal, and he was the best player that I saw at the under-21s, by the way, for any team, so he's unbelievable. I think Nikola Milenkovic is captain material. He's fantastic, and when he doesn't play, you really know about it, i.e. Leicester at home.
Mikey's got an irrational hatred of Harvey Elliott, by the way. If we sign him, that's why he was slagging him off. No. He calls him Noodlehead, which I think is unfair. Thank you as well to Archie for ranking podcast members, putting Greg second, because he says good things about Forest. So you're Archie's second favourite, Greg.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here. He's there. There he is. Following on from the Milenkovic chat, a lot of people, well, there was a couple of the same question. Should Milenkovic be captain next season? Mikey?
Well, I'm going to say yeah, because I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think Ryan Yates is the heartbeat, the heart of the football club, and he's going to be around until he can't run anymore. So I think maybe Yates is the squad captain. He's captain when he plays, but I think as a club captain that Morgan had, and I still think, and this is in my head thinking Morgan's going to move on, there is no better option than the Serbia captain, that absolute colossus at the back that wins everything and has been fundamental game changer since he joined the football club. And Greg talked about our back five, and I include Matt Sells in this, and how important it is that we kept them in. And Milenkovic is absolutely the number one in there. So would I be upset if he became vice captain or club captain or whatever? No, absolutely not. No, any guy that leads Serbia I mean, come on. Like, he is rock hard, and I love that. I'm a bit old school, like Pierce, you know.
Do you know when you like look at proper captains and like, as much as I dislike both teams, obviously, like the Arsenal Man U era where you had like Vieira and Roy Keane. If you're up against Milenkovic at the start of that tunnel, you're shitting yourself, aren't you? Like he is unbelievably good and absolutely scary, and we need that type of player. Ryan Yates, I love him to bits. He has helped us get one of the most incredible achievements where we've had an academy player in our squad since the 1940s, and long may that continue. Even though we're such a global team now, we're still managing to make sure like Isaac Abbott's and players like that get their contracts and stay in this squad. It's so important. But your club captain needs to play every single game when he's fit, and Milenkovic is one of those rare players that absolutely plays no matter what if he's fit.
What is the definition of a good captain?
Scary as shit.
Is it? Is it?
Well, you know, I do.
I've just asked that question because obviously you're saying to me he's scary, that's why he should be captain. I think you need more than that to be a captain.
Do you think he sets the level and the tone for the team?
I think he's a very good player, and a big part of a good back four. But it's not just about him.
Do you have a view?
I think he's a good pairing with Murillo. I think they complement each other very well. But what about Bolly when he comes in? He does a good job as well. You signed him on for another year.
Is this somebody you've got in your head that might be a better fit?
What about Elliot Anderson for a captain?
Yeah. I won't disagree.
Eventually.
Yeah, like he's so young. Well,
How old's Milenkovic?
25.
So there's a big difference then, isn't there?
Well, I think so. When you're looking at like experienced pros,
He's not a 30-year-old then, is he?
but he captains his nation. He's clearly like Elliot Anderson, such a flair player, such like a creative player. His concentration has to be on that.
But this is what I'm saying to you. Describe what a role a captaincy has. It's not just
Pearce.
It's not just about winning your headers and kicking people. It's about having responsibilities on and off the pitch.
Nottingham Forest fans see a captain as someone like Stuart Pearce, and since Stuart Pearce, like Chris Cohen maybe, like you look at like genuine Nottingham Forest captains like year after year who have done it, we haven't had that many. And it's got to be someone who's got that horrendous grit, who you're scared of, and who's like intimidates other teams and players.
What's all this about? Being scared? What's this? Scaring us? It's a game of football.
Your captain like leads
You might
the
be
line.
scared. I wouldn't be scared if I was playing against him.
I mean, if you want to talk about horrendous grit, then Ryan Yates is that man. I mean, look,
but he doesn't play every game.
I agree. Look, my answer to the question is, and it's a hopeful one, I really hope it's Morgan Gibbs-White with the armband, because I want him to stay at Forest. And I think he leads by example in a different way. I don't think you need to have someone who scares the shit out of everyone necessarily. I think you need to have someone who leads by example, one way or another. And I think, look, for all of the comments on social media about Morgan Gibbs-White being a snake or any of that nonsense, he's a player who's given 3 years of really, really good service to us. I think that none of us would have said before any of this stuff materialised that we had any questions or qualms about Morgan Gibbs-White's effort here or his allegiance to the football club. If you were there when I was, and Greg and all the lads put up that banner for Morgan Gibbs-White, that tifo, I'm sure you felt the same way that I did, and I felt that's me and one of those footballers, and then we mean something together, all right? So I hope it's Morgan Gibbs-White.
So if Morgan stays, are you still for Milenkovic being captain?
Yeah.
Not Morgan Gibbs-White?
Yeah. I feel like...
But does Morgan not lead by example when he plays?
Well, the last month or so he hasn't, because he's clearly shown a desire to move away from the club.
But when he plays, does he give 100%?
Yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't make him a captain. A captain should be an absolute badge of honour.
Morgan's not scary. He can't be captain.
No, not at all. But Morgan's not shown a loyalty to this football club that you need as a Nottingham Forest captain. As a fan who follows home and away every single game, I want the player who's going to lead our team out to be one who's got that in his heart, more than anyone. Morgan Gibbs-White has clearly said, I want to move away from this football club. If he stays,
but you don't know the
absolutely
reasons.
love him. I don't care. He wants to move away. I don't care the reasons. He feels like he'll have a better option away from Nottingham Forest. Milenkovic hasn't. Ryan Yates hasn't.
Yes.
Ryan Yates never will. But whether he gets in this team, exactly. For me, Morgan Gibbs-White, if he stays at this football club, it's because the Spurs deal failed. He doesn't deserve captaincy because of that. I want a captain to lead this club through thick and thin, not say 12 months I'm looking for another team.
So are you going to, if Morgan stops, are you going to hold it against him?
No, I've done a bloody display for the bloke, but I don't want him to be the captain because he isn't showing us what this club's about, and it's fighting against the massive clubs.
This is what I keep saying to you. What is the role of a captain?
For me, it's someone who the fans say he's got it in him to lead this club through.
Greg, do you honestly think that Ryan Yates would stay at Forest if a Champions League club wanted to sign him for lots of money?
They're not going to. I do actually.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
I actually do think Ryan Yates would do that.
That's
I genuinely
There's no
do
way
think.
they would.
No, I actually
footballer's gonna leave
think
for that sort
he's
of
the
opportunity.
anomaly where he would actually do that. I think he'd be that one club player that would do that.
So if he's only going to get 5 games next season, you think he's going to be happy?
No, that's different. That's like the Joe Worrell situation where he goes, I'm still young, I want to play football, I'll move to Burnley, and they've got promoted, by the way, partly because of him. The Ryan Yates situation, he will only leave...
Because of Joe Worrell?
No, the Ryan Yates situation will only be because he hasn't had enough game time.
How many games did Joe Worrell play for Burnley?
Well, he was injured for a long while. Yeah, he was injured.
So why have Burnley got promoted because of Joe Worrell then?
No, what I'm saying is he moved to another club to get game time, and he's got game time, and he's back in the Premier League.
He played 5 games and got injured
which
for the rest
was
of the
right
season.
for his career because he's now back in the Premier League.
Let's move on.
I do like Gibbs-White. He's just not a Nottingham Forest captain anymore. He's lost that.
Can Matt Sells hit the same level of performance next season, or do we need another goalkeeper? If Sells gets injured, is Miguel a Premier League level goalkeeper? He's not even in Portugal at the moment, I don't think. Mikey, will Matt Sells have another same level of season?
There's no reason to say he won't. I think Matt Sells, I think in goalkeepers in general, they're a bit unique. I mean, Gemma, tell me if you don't agree, but I think as they get older, they tend to get more consistent. And, you know, you look at players like Shilton. I remember Dave Besant when he was down here in the late 90s. He was ace. What was he, late 30s? And Matt Sells is early 30s. He's just broke into the Belgium side. He got the clean sheet last season. He was fantastic. Lindsay's just mouthed at me, Doris de Vries. He came down here, he did all right. So there is nothing from his body of work or the fact that he is early 30s that suggests to me that he can't be as influential as he was last season. And one more thing I will say. Can you remember that video that Forest did when they asked the players who was man of the season? How many said Matt Sells? Like, all of them? Most of them? That tells you his standing at that football club. And I'm not surprised whatsoever he's just got a new contract. And I don't see him being displaced anytime soon.
Can I just add? I think Matt Sells is onto a really good thing at Nottingham Forest. He's a proper goalkeeper and he's grown into the role massively. But also he's only asked to do a sort of very set amount of the goalkeeping, right? We don't ask him to be a really proactive goalkeeper who gets on the ball and sprays it around and all that sort of stuff that so many football clubs want these days. We ask him to be a shot stopper and we ask him to defend our goal, just like we do for our defenders. He's onto a great thing. He's proven to be really good at it. The really joyful thing about Matt Sells for me is that he's gone from being somebody who was, you know, a bit of a rock compared to what we had before and the antidote to all of that, all those concerns, to someone who's not just reliable but is making world-class saves. That's what you need. I think Matt Sells will be struggling at football clubs that are desperate to have a goalkeeper who's playing from the back all the time and all that sort of stuff, but it's irrelevant. He's a Nottingham Forest. What we needed is him to keep the ball out of the back of the net, and he's fantastic at it.
There was a second Sells question. Did we get lucky on Sells then, Pete? He was a long way down the list. Did we get fortunate with him?
I don't really know how to answer that. He was, I think from what we can gather, he was something like 7th, 8th or 9th choice as the goalkeeper for Forest at that point. There's a couple of ways of looking at that. One of them might be that Forest have got an awesome list for recruitment and there's shitloads of really good players on it. Or perhaps we did get a bit lucky. I don't know. Look, I think Matt Sells is a different keeper now to the one that we signed. I think we signed a competent goalkeeper who looked really solid and was a real antidote to what we had before, which was a problem, right? We all saw that. It was terrifying. The keepers we had before, we were all on the edge of our seats and not in a good way. Matt Sells solved that, but I think he's grown, and I think the stats would suggest that's the case as well. He's grown from someone who is solid and does the job you need to do to be someone who makes saves that goalkeepers aren't necessarily expected to, which is a fantastic thing. So, lucky or not, I don't know, it's great.
Question for Gemmo. I'll go between the two. Who was the best trainer at Forest and why? Who was the worst trainer at Forest and why during your career there?
Well, that's going to be a tough question because the training wasn't very hard anyway. The best trainer, wasn't Roy Keane, wasn't Nigel Clough. I think Nigel Clough was the worst trainer because he used to just stand in the goals all the time and just be a defender. I think probably the best one. It's a really hard one, that. Wasn't Des either.
Nigel Jemson?
Wasn't me. I can't answer that question. Who stood out more than anyone else? I mean, commitment, obviously Piercy. He wouldn't shirk a tackle or anything like that. But captain, he was nasty.
Who was the most gifted? Who was the most gifted player?
Do you know, there's one player that I'm going to say that I thought was very underrated. Not in my view, though, in some people's views. And I tell you what a fantastic player he was. Gary Parker. He was outstanding. He wasn't as mobile probably as what he could be, but give him the ball, he could do most things with it. And I thought he was a terrific buy.
Can I ask a question? I've always hated Jamie Vardy. Absolutely hated him.
No, I don't want him here.
Drives me... No, I'm not asking that question. The one thing that I've absolutely got respect for him for, I saw an interview with him last week where he used to learn the language of the defenders he was playing against just so he could abuse them.
Jamie
and I
Vardy.
thought that was fucking brilliant.
And you believe that?
He can't even speak English. So, did you ever used to wind up the defenders?
Yeah, but not in a different language. The banter goes on. I mean, obviously now the world's changed. Banter now is bullying, so you can't banter people anymore now. But yeah, of course you do. You always try to get one against your player you play against. So that goes without saying, doesn't it? I mean, even before the game, with your mates and stuff. I mean, I used to say to Mark Cross when I was playing against him, "I'm going to put one past you." We had a bet and all sorts against this sort of thing. So it happens. It used to happen in football. I don't so much nowadays. But once you cross that white line, there's no friends in football, is there? You want to get one over him.
We get names thrown at us all the time on the podcast for signings. There's a couple here, and I'll throw them at the panel quickly. Jack Grealish. Would you sign Jack Grealish? No?
Would I sign Jack Grealish?
Yeah, I'll ask everyone quickly.
With the way we play, I wouldn't play him on the wing because he's not quick enough. But he could play in the position what probably Morgan Gibbs-White does, where Muddy Bro getting on the ball because he's very good on the ball. But I think he's changed his game, to suit Pep. I think, was he a better player when he first went there and from Aston Villa? He was more exciting. Now he's been told to keep the ball all the time and not do this, not do that sort of thing. But I think the money he's on is obviously massive anyway, so he'd have to take a massive hit. He's a fantastic player. But unless we changed our formation or he played in a different position, then no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, just on Jack Grealish, I agree. I think as much as I love to wind Pete up, and I do, he's right when he talks about the model of player that we sign. And Jack Grealish is as far away from that as you could possibly think. So he's on fortunes. He's 28? Where does he get into the team? I'm not so sure. So I just think it's a hugely expensive purchase or loan deal, and it's probably not one that we want to go down, because once you set that precedent, it's risky. So if you ask me 100 players we could sign, I could probably give you argument for all of them, but Grealish won't be on that list. So it's an absolute no for me.
Here's one for you. What about the lad Hutchinson from Ipswich?
Matt's a big fan, so this is his time to shine, I think.
I don't ever have a time to shine. I'm a big fan of Hutchinson. I think we should be going for that kind of player. Young players we could buy. Admittedly, it's a higher fee, but then you buy them, you sell them on for more profit. And I think Jemo said about walk before you can run. I still think we're in the stage of moving up the ladder slowly, and I think he's someone who fits very nicely into that bracket, personally.
What do you make of him, Jemo? What do you make of him?
Like I said, I think that you sign a bit of potential. You know, he's not the finished article. I think he's been outstanding, a team that's really struggled. But obviously, with Elanga going now, you're saying we need electric pace. He's obviously got pace. I don't know if he's quicker than him. I've never seen them run together.
Put him on the track.
You can put him on a racing track, yeah. Whoever wins, we sign. I think he's one of those where he's young and like you said, you know, he's one of those that's got potential to move on to big things.
And what about Douglas Luiz? Is the other name? Pete, you've probably thought about him a bit.
He's not in my normal wheelhouse of footballer that I recommend Forest to sign, but I think he'd probably be a really impressive addition. I think if you think about the Forest lineup next season and imagine that you've got Elliot Anderson and Douglas Luiz doing sort of everything between them as two centre mids, I think that's pretty intimidating and would probably be a pretty good place to be. I think all these sort of deals have to be financially, you have to be careful about them. Just wages are really important. Forest are going to have a lot of money to spend, and I think that's a good place to be. And it means that you can probably pay a bit more on transfer fees than you were worried about. But wages are an issue because they linger and they last for a long time, and they cause a big issue for PSR. But Douglas Luiz and Elliot Anderson feels pretty formidable to me.
I wouldn't sign him.
Why not?
I think he's a fantastic footballer, but he had the opportunity to come to this club, and he's touted himself about to see who can get the best club, best money. If he don't want to come to here, straight away, forget about him.
Well, even a year later, I think that was a year ago.
But even now, he's keeping his options open. You know, there's Everton there. Would you rather go to Everton than Nottingham Forest? No chance. But he's not ruled that one out, has he? He's keeping his options open. So if a player's like that, then he's not desperate enough to come here, then don't sign him.
Next question. Who do you view as the main service the goal scorers now Elanga has left? I suppose, Mikey, that's the question that we answer at the end of August, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, at the moment, if the season started tomorrow, we've only got one, haven't we? It's probably Callum. We probably have to change the way that we play as well. You know, Greg talked on the last podcast about the fact Nuno has often played with the back five, and we might have to go to that, but it might have to be through necessity rather than actual strategy, which is my worry. So whilst we've got the players that can do it, if the season was to start tomorrow and it doesn't, I get that. Everything goes through Callum, which is why I'm really worried about his contract, by the way. We could be in a situation where our front three behind the striker, Elanga's gone, Gibbs-White might gone, Callum, we know that his situation, it's risky. It doesn't upset. Well, of course it does. Yeah, it upsets me. I love Forest. I want us to be good. But I think all roads go through Callum, and I think you can't read much into pre-season, right? But for those of you that watch the games, he's now taking set pieces. Appreciate Anderson's not there. He seems to have stepped up a little bit in terms of his vocality on the pitch. I saw a bit of that. So maybe he sees it. Well, Elanga's gone. Morgan might go. Maybe it's now my team. Maybe I now step up. Who knows? But in answer to your question, Matt, Callum Hudson-Odoi is somebody that we need to tie down. And unless we do some serious recruitment, teams will just mark Callum and we're in trouble because Wood thrives on service, as Jemo said. Who's going to give him the service?
There's a question here. Is Dominguez an option on the wing? I mean, we did play him at the end there, Jemo, last season, sort of, but is that a failed experiment in a way?
I don't think that's his favourite position. I think, you know, for him, he's got to play in the middle. You know, he's energetic and stuff like that, but he's not someone that's going to provide a lot of service. I don't think for Chris Wood. So it's okay for a short term, but I don't think long term. No.
There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions in here about varying factors of season ticket prices, membership, different things. I'll ask a general question because people have different things. Do people feel the ticket prices for general access are way too high at 70 quid for Brentford then? 50 to 70? Are people bothered?
Hands up.
Too much? Pete had an opinion. I feel like he's drained. I don't know if he's got anything he wants to say on it or not.
I've definitely got an opinion. I'm not sure how to put it into words in the best way.
Get banned, Pete. Say it. Go on.
Huh?
Say what you think.
Look, I think Forest are in a situation where they are following what everyone else does in football, and that is to say that ticket prices have to go up every season, and that's just how it is. And you see lots of people like us on podcasts or whoever, and we all say, that's the reality. That's what it is now. That's how football is. Personally, I don't think there's anything more depressing in the entire world than just saying, that's how it is. It's ridiculous. Nothing good has ever come in our society by saying, that's just how it is. It's not just how it is. You can be different. You can always make a decision to be different. My opinion is Nottingham Forest aren't a football club that can just do exactly the same as everyone else and hope that we're going to have 40, 50, whatever thousand fans turning through the door every single week in the future. Because we're not Chelsea, we're not Arsenal, we're not any of those things. We're not a football club that's going to have thousands of tourists turning through the doors, and nor should we be. We're a football club that should be part of its community, that should be proud of being part of its community, and that should protect what we've got. So I don't know... Thank you very much. That's just the start. There's about half an hour to go, guys. It's going to be a long lecture. Just a little bit more. What I think is that future-proofing, right, this is a moral and a social argument. A moral and an economic argument, sorry. The moral argument is Nottingham is a deprived city. This is not a place where people are rich. We're not all throwing cash around all over the place. The people who come and support this football club, they don't have the sort of money to be paying £70 to go to a Premier League football match. It's madness. You've got a decision to make. You can chase that cash if you want to, and in the short term it'll be fine because you'll keep filling your stadium with people who are happy with the success, and they'll come. What happens after that? There is no definitive future for this football club that means we're always in the Premier League and it's always successful. What we should be doing, in my opinion, sorry, I'm really ranting on, I appreciate that. What we should be doing is embracing what's good about this city. This is the rebel city. This is a place...
You're right.
Yeah?
Carry on.
You're happy to carry on, fine.
Yeah.
Look, this is a place where we should acknowledge what's good about Forest. What's good about Forest right now is we've got the best atmosphere in the Premier League. I'm not taking the piss, I don't think that's a biased thing to say. Commentators who come, I can see one of my friends who's an Everton fan who's not happy about that. However, commentators, John Murray, whoever, they come to Forest and they say, wow, look at that atmosphere, look at what you've got. We all need to take a look at ourselves and say, what have we got? This is something really special, and the football club needs to do the same thing. So what they should do, as far as I'm concerned, is protect prices for people like us who all go to the games. We're investing in the club. We've invested in the club when things have been difficult, through COVID. Remember that? When the club came asking for cash when there was nothing to pay for? These are important times, right? We've all stood for it. We should all be there. What you need to do is you need to expand the city ground, and you need to encourage more people to come and join us. But you put the money on the corporate, on the hospitality, all that sort of stuff. You freeze the prices for everyone else. You protect what you've got, and what you've got is the best atmosphere in the Premier League. That's how you keep it. How are you special? You've got to ask yourself, how are you special? That's how we're special. You keep it, you preserve it for the future. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to take my son, and so are you guys. It's going to look. That is a genuine issue that faces me in the next few years. Can I take my son to a game? I can't pay 150, 200 quid to take my son to a game. That's insane. Think about it. What have we got 5 years on from this Premier League legacy? We'll have nothing unless you do that. So let's decide what we're about, and what we're about is what we've got right now and what makes us special. You don't need to charge more on ticket prices to progress. It's irrelevant to PSR, it's irrelevant to everything. Stick with it. Sorry, that was really long. And ramble.
Let's finish on a populist question for Greg Mitchell. Will we finish above Manchester United next season?
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. They're the biggest spenders already. They've signed like how many players for £200-300 million. Every single club, team, sports team that Ineos take over fail. And I think that is such a beautiful thing that they took Man United over, because it's going to happen again to them. Their stadium's crumbling, their players don't want to play there. I feel sorry for like Fernandes. He's one of the best players in the Premier League who's never going to win any trophies. He needs to go. But
He had the opportunity to go.
yeah, exactly. Mental that he hasn't. Yeah, in short, we will finish absolutely above Man United. And even if that's one place above the relegation zone, I'll laugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll do the auction in 1 second, but please show your appreciation for the panel. Pete Blackburn. Mikey Clarke. Greg Mitchell. So harsh. And former Red striker Nigel Jemson.
That was like an Oasis ending with the...
It wasn't meant to be. Let's raffle, let's auction a Murillo shirt, actually, and raise lots of money for charity. We'll do the raffle first, sorry. Smooth as ever, Pete's with out. Right, hang on a sec. Before the main event, we shall pick a raffle winner for a bucket hat. Ticket number 328.
What colour? What colour is it?
Sort of orangey. Salmon. Salmon 328 for an orange hat. Here he comes. What a night has been made.
How good is that new top, by the way?
It's the one he said he didn't want, but he's got it. Let's raffle off. Let's pick the ticket then for Callum Hudson-Odoi's shirt. This is definitely green. Green number 42. Show your appreciation. This is Ben Sales from Home Move Estate Agents.
Fix.
No, it's not.
Fix.
It's not. No, but he's got to sponsor me for another year now, hasn't he? Yeah, well done, Ben. Right. For the Murillo shirt, this is for, we'll do an auction for this because I think it's worth good cash for charity, and we'll add it to the 660 quid. It's there.
What are the charities?
Same charities, Stand Against MND and MacMillan Cancer Research. Greg, what should we start at?
£100.
Will anyone give us 100 quid? Archie's putting his hand up.
This little guy here, look.
Does Archie's dad agree with that? Archie's got a limit. Okay. I mean, are you going to break a kid's heart and bid
This
higher?
is
I can't hope
for
you will.
Brazil's potentially one of their greatest defenders over the next few years, obviously.
Who'll give me 120? Oh, it's 2 over there, 3 over there.
You might have to go higher,
Archie's shirt, Archie's out. Oh.
Go higher.
Give Archie a round of applause. 150. Lots of people. 180.
Archie's in.
Archie starts holding his arm down. 200. 220.
Steve?
I've seen 3 hands up. 200, there's loads. 250.
Yeah.
Who'll give me, not me, it's definitely not for me. Who'll give us 300 quid?
I paid more for Brennan Johnson's boots, by the way, and this guy's going to go a lot further.
Yeah. 350. You can see one arm up. Yeah. 350 going once.
Oh, there's another at the back.
2 arms up.
I love this. I could do this every day.
375.
They're at the back. They want 4.
400.
They want 4.
You can see one arm up. He's thinking about it. He's waving. Yeah.
Lady at the front on the second row.
There's 2 people in the bidding. 425 quid for the Murillo shirt. 450. 500.
Yes. Where? Lady on the second row.
Lady on the second row going once for 500.
No, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I need a second person.
There's going to be someone else. What are we on?
500.
510, surely. Where's Archie? No, I'm joking.
Going twice for 500. Last chance. Oh, there's arms at the back. They should be gutted at the front.
Is it a real arm?
Yeah, it's legit.
Yes. Oh, it's the twins, my favourite people.
525.
Thought I was your favourite person.
Absolutely not. No, she didn't.
Lady at the front says 550.
She's buying it, whatever.
His man's at
575.
He's
Are
got
they
his
575
arm
at
up
the
still.
back?
600. Got an offer of 600 at the front. 600. He's matched it. 650.
Brazilian centre back, and he's beautiful. We'll go higher then. No, they're together at the back, aren't they? They're not bidding against. We're saying, are you bidding against each other? No, you're not. 610 then.
610. There's a lady at the front offering. Oh, you're both offering. What will you go to?
No, let's keep going. Don't we? It's like he's got to go home. Right, 650. Oh, lower than that.
625. Will anyone say 625? People at the front are saying 625.
Don't wave your arm at the back there. I know you're having a beer, but I've just seen you do that.
625 going once. Yes, you are 625, yeah. 625 going twice. They've matched it.
Oh, yes.
630 at the front. Will you go 630 at the back? Yes, they will. 650. 650 at the back for the Murillo shirt. With LED lights, if that makes a difference. No. 650 going once. 650 going twice.
Yes.
675 at the front.
What is going on?
Absolutely sensational
This is great.
drama. Are you still filming this, Aaron?
I want Murillo to be captain, by the way, now, not Milenkovic.
675 at the front, going once. 675 going twice. Last chance.
Yeah.
Souls the lady at the front.
Come on up.
Well, come on up, you got to come and get it.
Ask them if they can sponsor Forest whilst they're there.
That is a shitload of money, as Pete said. Thank you very much, everyone. That was a great end to the night. I think that's 1,300 quid raised for charity.
Oh. I think we've got one more person that we need to say thank you to. The man behind it all. He's an absolute shambles and he infuriates all of us, but we bloody love him, don't we? Thank you very much, Matt, for everything you do, pal.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you soon, but thank you for coming.